Hi, I'm Selena, and I help parents whose kids are getting a little bit out of control and maybe what's worked in the past isn't working so well anymore and everyone's just losing their cool. And today I'm going to share with you a clever insight on how to parent smarter rather than tougher, but not how you might think. Now, for parents who are desperate to transform those mad, sad and bad attitudes in their household, you can get immediate access to our program by clicking the link below. But for parents who want to learn a little bit more of what we're about, let's get into this. Now, parents come to us because they're at a loss of what to do. And even though they're well-dedicated parents and great intentions, and there's probably nobody on earth who loves their child as much as they do, and it's not from a lack of trying to discipline the child that's the problem. Maybe what's worked with one child isn't working for the other child. And so they've gone off and they've Googled things, or they've sought help with their friends or with other people. And they're just not finding any long-term impact or change in behavior or attitude. And you know, these parents often confide in me that they have great relations with their friends or family or work colleagues. But when it comes to their children, they think, God, why am I having such a hard time? And this is what we tell them. You know, I'm Australian, and living in Australia, we have a lot of snakes and spiders here, and they can kill you in an instant. So you have to be pretty tough to live here. But when my children first started acting out, I got tough with them, and it got me nowhere. So what does a smart person do? They say, the tough angle doesn't work. So let's do the smart thing. And I got smart. And it doesn't matter whether you're dealing with teens or tweens. This stuff even works with adults. So when everybody in the world is getting tough with their kids, I say you don't have to do that angle. It doesn't work. You know it doesn't work. You do the smart thing. And in our program, we show you the smart way to interact with your kids, the smart way to discipline your kids, and show you the smart way so you can show them the way. Because what we're doing here is we're not just raising kids, we're raising future adults. And these adults are going out in the world to become doctors and lawyers and teachers and builders. And don't you want them out in the world being the best they can be? I mean, I don't want my kid growing up to be a carpenter with a lousy attitude. Now, let's talk about that teenager attitude. Where does it rear its ugly head from? Well, if you've got older siblings around, probably from them. But more often than not, it's just whoever they're hanging out with. And sometimes I find these 11-year-olds have got friends that are 12 and 13-year-olds, and that's where they're getting that teenager behavior. They're inheriting it from whoever they're hanging out with. So there's a couple of questions you can ask yourself. Does my child like hanging out with other people? And are those kids older? And if the answer to either of those questions is yes, it's because your child is getting something from that relationship. They want to be known to be cool, and so they want to hang out with the cool kids. And often the cool kids are the older kids, or just whoever they're hanging out with. Look, I have this mentor who gave me this great saying once. He said, to a third grader, a fourth grader is God. So who do you think your child is going to listen to if they're 11 years old hanging out with a 13-year-old? They're not going to listen to you because God is in the 13-year-old and not in you. And they're looking up to the 13-year-old, and I can show you ways that they will look up to you. So that's where a lot of this behavior is coming from. It's imported into your house and you don't even know it. Now, right now we're going through COVID, and some of you might be watching this video outside of COVID, and gosh, that sounds really nice. But you'll remember this one thing about this whole experience is how you saw a positive change in your kid. And once you got them away from school and you got them homeschooled, you saw that change. Now, when they go back to school, they're going to revert back to these old habits. And here's why. they're going to seek out their old friends and they'll have these bad habits and your kid's going to inherit them again. And in a matter of weeks, all the good you've done is going to become undone and it's going to be gone. So here's a great reason to do our program. You can do a preemptive strike before your child goes back to school and be equipped so when they do go back to school and they come back with their bad habits, you'll be able to see these bad habits and nip them in the bud respectfully. And they will respect you for what you say, and they might do what you want because of the respect you're going to show them. And the good news is, I've got the formula. In our program, it's the Positive Conversation Toolkit. Now, we've collated the latest in neuroscience research, which is how the brain works, with life coaching communication principles and mindfulness techniques. And we've collated them into bite-sized chunks designed for overwhelmed and busy parents. It's a 6-week program that can help you transform mad, sad, and bad attitudes in your household. And we empower you, the parents, with smart communication tools so you can raise resilient, confident, and high-functioning kids. Now, I understand your time and money is valuable, and I'm not going to waste either. Click the button below to get immediate access. So it's time you get the science behind parenting so your child will be happier. And that's what we want. We want happy children. We don't want our children to be miserable because of external forces or because of our own potential shortcomings. You know, it's kind of funny. You have to have a license to drive a car, but you don't need a license to raise a kid. But by the time you finish this course, you'll be capable to handle just about anything your child throws at you. You'll be able to see it and very respectfully counter it where you're not the bad guy, you're not the boogeyman, and you'll be the better person and you'll be role modeling these beautiful communication skills to your children. So click on the button below and I absolutely guarantee it. Put the Positive Conversation Toolkit into action, and if for the first 30 days you see no improvement in your household in attitude or behavior, let us know. We will work with you for another 30 days. And if after that 60-day period you don't see any improvement in the attitude or behavior in your household, we will refund your small investment 100%. So you have got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Click on the button below, and I really look forward to meeting you on the inside.